I'd like to invite Mr. Kamruzzaman, Assistant Professor and Head Department of Innovation and Entrepreneurship, DIU, and also Ms. Khadiza Rahman Tanchi, Assistant Professor and Associate Head Department of Business Administration, DIU, to take over this webinar. So once again, I'm welcoming Mr. Kamruzzaman and Ms. Khadiza Rahman Tanchi to take over this webinar.
Thank you so much, Simran, and welcome all the participants once again. So it's a wonderful privilege for us to to talk before you guys. So I hope you all have been passing through a wonderful time, and so far you learned a lot of issues. So today specifically you're going to share some experience of management of social business. That means how you can manage your social social business. At the same time, what will be the major financial aspects of social business. Though this session is one hour and 1 hour 20 minutes, but it's really tough to manage all the aspects. So we'll try to give you the insight about financial and management aspects of social business as much as possible. And other thing will remain with your slides and materials, so you can feel free to ask any question related to financial aspects and the management aspects. Before beyond these sessions, you can always welcome to ask us in our forum in BLC. So I would like to request Mr. Khadiza Rahman Tanchi ma'am to start her part, then I will come back later. Madam, please.
So, good evening. Hello, everyone. How are you all? Can you see me?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Sorry. All right. So, welcome again. We met before, and I'm Khadiza Rahman Tanchi. I'm working as an assistant professor, Department of Business Administration, Faculty of Business and Entrepreneurship, Daffodil International University. Today, as you know, our topic is the management perspective of social business, or social business is our common topic, and I'm going to talk about the management perspective of your business that you're going to start in future, inshallah. So yes, now I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to stop my video. Okay, I hope my screen is visible for all of you. Can you see?
Yes, it is.
Yes, visible. Yes.
All right. So thank you. So let's start the management perspective of social business. So let's start with, all right. So management, this is a common word that we used to use in our regular life. Even in business, there are lots of functions, as we know that: marketing, finance, production, human resource, or resource. So these are some functions of business, and we used to use management, and we used to actually tag management in every function in business, like marketing management, from product, from the idea development of the product to distribution of the product, you have to manage all the things. Finance, from the collection of money to investment, you have to manage all the things. Production, from collection of raw materials to ready product, you have to manage all these things. Human resource, the huge thing, from the recruitment to discharge the employee, you have to manage human resource. And resources, basically, we have to manage resources, and resources are varied from organization to organization. So that's why management is, kind of one of the important aspects of business. So let's move on to next slide. All right. So the basic concept of management. So before discuss about the basic concept of management, let's see what are the resources, basic resources of organization, which is made up by there are some basic resources by which organization is made, like men, machine, money, material. So these are the four basic resources. As maybe you all, some of you have business, you know that. Some of you do not have business, but they actually know that this is very basic concept, that organization is made up by these four resources: men, machine, money, and material. Men means human resources, machine means physical resources like assets, any kind of physical resources, even the chair, table, that is also physical resources. Money, the finance, and the material, or we can say sometimes informational resources. Material or informational resources. So these are the four basic resources by which organization actually made up. And okay, sorry. So what is management actually? If we talk about management, then we can say that management can be very shortly defined by the manipulation of resources to achieve goals or objectives. So management can be defined as a process of what? Process of manipulation of resources. Manipulation means handling, or we can say managing resources. Which resources? Men, machine, money, material. These resources. Why? To achieve goals or objectives. That is basically management. Those know management, they actually know this is a very basic definition. Those actually do not know, they are from the non-business background. For them, actually, I set this definition. This is very basic, that management can be defined as a manipulation, or we can say manage of what? Resources. Which resources? Men, machine, money, material. Why? To achieve goals or objectives. So let's talk about very briefly the management process. As we are saying that marketing management, finance management. So why we say that management is a process? Why it is process? Because there are four basic functions of management, and that four basic functions of management also say the process of management. Let's see how management can say it as a process. At first, there is a planning steps. At first, whatever you are doing, you have to set a goal. Suppose in your social business, maybe maybe your planning or your goal is to reduce, uh, to develop your environment. So to develop your environment, you might work with plastic. So as we know that plastic harms our environment. So your plan is to work with plastic. So that is your plan. So even if you talk about the marketing management, or if you focus on the marketing, even in marketing, they have to, at first they have to plan what would be the product idea, and then according to the idea they will arrange the resources. So even in every areas of business, every functions of business, when you are talking about management, then you have to go through these four process: planning, organizing, leading, controlling. So at first, as I am said that, you are you want to develop a business of a business which you will work with plastic. So maybe your business planning is, or your goal is to establish a product with plastic. So that is your planning stage. And then move on to the organizing stage. In organizing stage, you have to organize, arrange the resources. So resources means, since you want to develop a product with plastic, so your organizing stage, you have to collect your raw materials. So your raw materials will be plastic bottle. So that is basically that the plastic bottle that you are actually collecting, that is, you are arranging some sort of resources. And then you need some human resources to arrange to collect that resources. So to arrange even human resources, that is also part of the organizing. And who will collect which resources, that is also a part of the organizing. So once you have organized all of your resources, even from where you are collecting money, from where you are collecting your machineries, what machineries you need, all of these resources, all of this collection process will be conducted in organizing stage. Once your organizing is done, then you are going to the next stage, that is leading. Leading is all about leading, or we can say sometimes motivating or directing. This stage of management, this process of management only deals with human resources. As we know, human resources is we used to say the lifeblood of the organization, because you have resources, you have money, you have lots of things, but if human resources are not there, you cannot run your business. So you have to motivate your human resources, you have to influence your human resources so that they give their 100% to achieve the goal. So leading function is all about motivating employees, or human resources. And then the last function or process of management is controlling. Controlling is basically monitoring. We used to say monitoring. Monitoring means, since you have planned, you organized, you lead people, but you have to oversee, you have to look after what is your progress. So in monitoring stage or in controlling stage, we used to see our progress, so that if we see our progress is not that much up to the mark, then we detect our mistakes, and then again we plan according to our mistakes. So that's why controlling is needed. To what extent you actually near about your goal, that is basically controlling. So planning, organizing, leading, controlling, these are a continuous process. You plan, you organize, you lead and control. When you in the controlling stage, when you see that yes, you achieved your goal, then you in planning stage, you again set your goal in an advanced way. Again, if you see in your controlling stage that no, you did not achieve your goal, that means you have some mistakes, then again you have to identify your mistakes, and according to that mistakes, you have to again go for a planning. So that's why this is called actually the management process. And then the next one is human resources. Human resources, why HRM, human resources is needed in social business. Why I'm not talking about other resources? Let's see why. Because in this slide, I have already highlighted that machine, money, and material. These three are the non-living resources. There are only one living resources, that is human resources. So these human resource will manage or manipulate these non-living resources. So that's why human resource is important for the organization. So that's why I'm only talk about here human resources. So human resources, why human resources need in organization or social business? HRM or human resource management is needed in social business or any sort of business because of existing internal challenges of management. There are lots of internal challenges, and since human resources are managing all of these challenges, that's why human resource management is important in organization. So people or human resource can be managed by two approaches. There are two approaches by which human resource can be managed. One approach is called herd approach. Another approach is called soft approach. Herd approach is basically it reflects employees as being a cost to the organization and is primarily concerned with minimizing cost. So when organization manage people by herd approach, that means they actually consider human resource as a cost of the organization, and they try to minimize the cost. On the other hand, in soft approach, it views employees as being assets who will produce positive margin for the organization. So you can also approach your human resource in a soft approach. Soft approach means you are considering your human resources as an asset of the organization who actually will produce positive margin or profit for your organization. So nowadays, as we can see in pandemic situation or in coronavirus situation, lots of people are losing their job, right? Why they are losing their job? Because now these organizations are actually approaching human resource as a hard approach, because they consider human resource nowadays in their organization as a cost. So that's why they wants to minimize the cost, which is actually, this is maybe better for the organization for a time being, but this is sometimes, organization actually usually use both approach according to their needs or requirements. So that is all about the human resources, how these human resources are, applied. But human resources, it is the huge, concept. I cannot actually complete this human resource concept in one slide. So human resources basically includes from recruiting. That means we used to say from hiring to firing. Every work is done by human resource department. So to hire employee, and then from after hiring employee will organization will go for training. That is also part of human resource. After training, they will perform their job, and organization will appraise their performance. That is also part of a human resource. And after their performance, if they do not perform well, organization again send them for a training, and again they give them lots of chances. And after that, if they do not perform well, then organization will discharge their employees. So from hiring to firing, every part is included in human resource management. So now I'm going to move the next slide, that is resource management techniques. So in your social business or whatever the business you want to develop or you want to do or establish, you need to manage your resources. So there are basically basic three techniques by which you can manage your resources. The first one is resource allocation. Resource allocation is basically the process of assigning or managing or tackling the assets in such a manner so that it supports your organization's goal. So resource allocation is the way, it's the process by which you assign, you manage, or you tackle your assets or your resources. It could be your asset, it could be your raw materials for the organization, whatever it is, the resources. So that's why this resource allocation can be considered as a process of what? Process of assigning, managing, or tackling resources in such a manner so that supports you to achieve organizations goals or strategic goals. Another one is resource leveling. Resource leveling is it is another process it actually aims to discover some sort of underused or inefficiently used resources. So from resource leveling, you have to discover your underused or inefficiently used resources within the organization and work them to your advantage. So sometimes we used to ignore underused resources or inefficiently used resources. But if we do not ignore that things, if we discover that underused or inefficiently used resources, we can actually use them, we can reuse them, we can use them for our advantage of the organization. So that is resource leveling. And the third one is resource forecasting. Forecast, as you know about the meaning of forecasting, that means anticipating. So forecasting is basically resource forecasting allows you, or resource forecasting allows you to predict, to anticipate your future resource requirement before a project begins. So before the project begin, you have to forecast what resources you need, and according to your need, you will arrange those resources. That is resource forecasting. So that is how we can manage our assets or resources in the organization. So let's move on to our next topic, that is how can I evaluate potential business partner. This is all about, right, human resources now I'm talking about. as you know, maybe you heard about social business creation program. That is also, a social business creation program is another kind of competition. And in that competition, I used to see that lots of participants complain that, ma'am, our partner has gone, my partner is not performing well, I have lots of interest but my partner do not have that interest, that's why he or she leaves me. Now I'm become alone, how can I manage my business, uh, you know uh, idea and something like that. So lots of complaint I used to, heard about. So that's why I intentionally put this topic, because whenever you for your whatever it is group, or even if you want to choose someone for your future business partner, so that is important how you evaluate your partner. Most of the time we emotionally actually choose our partner, but that should not be the way. So first is outline your expectations before you begin your search. At first, you have to know what is your expectation from your partner, your would-be partner, business partner. So, or your would-be team member. If you're now talking, if I'm talking about team, that is also okay. But I'll talk about team separately. But whenever you choose your team member or your partner, then definitely you have to outline your expectation first. You have to know actually what you want from your partner. If you clearly know your requirements, then it would be easy for you to choose. So at first, what you'll have to do, outline your expectation before you begin your search. And the second one is seek third party opinions of your prospects. Maybe you have chosen a partner, or maybe you have someone, or maybe you have some friends that you want to take him or her as a partner. You can take third party opinion that, Mr. I want to take Mr. X as my partner. So how is he, what is his characteristics, is he trustworthy, is he good person? So you can take third party opinion before you choose your partner. Sometimes we get biased. Then find a partner that can bring skills and experience to the business. Yes, of course, you have to find a partner who have necessary skills and experience that can add value to your business. You all know about it. I don't want to explain it more. Of course, whenever you want to choose a partner, definitely that partner should have required skills and experience. Find a partner that shares your values, entrepreneurial spirit, and vision. So that is important. That I said that lots of team member complained us, ma'am, he is not interested to do. He do not have that much spirit that I have. That means when you choose that partner's value, that partner's entrepreneurial spirit, that partner's vision is not matched with you. So definitely whenever you find a partner, check you have to check that your values, your value system, your ethics, your entrepreneurial spirit, that the spirit you have, mm, or your vision, that should match with your partner. If that person do not have that kind of spirit or vision, leave him or leave her. Then look for a partner without a lot of personal baggage. Yes, that mistake we used to do most of the time, that we choose a partner and that partner has personal lots of problem. Maybe that person have some personal responsibilities, that person have some sort of loans. So maybe that person is actually interested to do business so that he or she can give their loan to their so that is actually another important issue, important things that you have to consider. That look for a partner without any personal baggage. You have to look for someone who do not have that kind of problems, duties, responsibilities, loan issues. If they have these kind of things, they will not going to concentrate on your business. Then find a partner that can offer resources and credibility to your business. Yes, this is another important thing that you should consider while you're choosing partner. That is, the partner you are choosing, if that person is also a resourceful person, that person can add value to your business. If that person if that person is a trustworthy, if that person has a reputation in the market, you should choose that person as a partner. And then choose a partner that practice good personal and business ethics. Yes, if you choose a partner, that partner should have a personal moral principle ethics as well as business ethics. So that is another important issue that is actually more on personal. Then plan ahead in case you break up with your business partner. So this is this might happen at any time. You might break up with your partner, so you have to plan ahead. You should have always plan B. If I cannot, if something not happen with us, then I have another one. Are you there? Are you all there?
Yes,
Yeah.
All
Yes.
right.
ma'am.
All right. All right.
Yeah, we are here.
Okay, okay. Sometimes, when, do some sort of online things, we used to feel like we are talking with computers. So sometimes you should make a noise so that I can know that you are here. All right. So consider partnering up with a sibling or other family member. So that is another good option, that if your siblings, your family members are there, your family member better, so you can choose them as a partner. And find someone with a complementary personality. Yes, you should find a partner that complement their skills to you. You can complement his or her skills. Maybe I do not have some sort of skills, my partner can complement their skills. Maybe I am little bit rude, my partner is little bit soft. My partner is rude, I am soft. So that is basically complementary personality. That is also important. You should not choose a partner who is completely like you. Then there will be disaster. And then trust, the most important part, that a partner you should choose that you can trust. So trust issues is basically that is you should uh, that should be the first priority when you choose a partner. So the partner that you are going to share your business, your all of the things, you should trust that person. And pick a partner who is hungry to succeed. That is important. You should pick a partner who is more hungry than you, more hungry, more intense to achieve than you. That intensity should have that partner. So that is important. And consider a partner in different field. That is another important issue. You should consider a partner from a different field so that they can contribute in each field. Suppose you're good at computer, maybe your partner good at communication. Maybe your other partner is good at software. Maybe your other partner is good at math. So they can actually add value to your business. So yes, that's all about how actually you can choose your partner, or what should be the criteria. Then we will move on to the next topic. That is one of the important topic in business or whenever you work in a team. Unique need for agile team. Henry Ford, we know Ford, the owner of the Ford company. So coming together is a beginning, staying together is progress, and working together is success. So yes, working together is really success. So let's go for a quick Slido. Just go to the slido.com. You already played with us Slido. So just go in to your Google and slido.com, and then just put the code 1395. If you put 1395, this question will be shown. What are the three most important things needed for effective teamwork? What are the most three important things needed for effective teamwork from your point of view, actually?
Okay, ma'am.
All right, all right. So what you'll have to do, yes, teamwork is already teamwork. Okay, you have to mention what are the most three important things that needed for effective teamwork. If you want to work in a team, if you want to make your team successful or effective, what Three important things you think is needed: dedication, trust, cooperation, yes, complementary personality, hard work, very good, right vision, common goal, communication, motivation, vision, all right, interpersonal communication, all right, dedication, trust, compassion, reliability. These three, came, the highest number of people say trust. Yes, trust, compassion, reliability, and what others? Love, care, good, respect each other. Very good point.
I wrote.
Yes, good. Thank you. And passion is another important thing. Faith, trust, faith, same thing. Harmony, yes, that is very important thing. Harmonious relationship, that is important. Confidence, skills, yes. I just give 1 minute more to answer, then I'll go to next slide. All right, yes, I'm getting lots of answer. Credibility, then selflessness, very good, yes. Modesty, understanding, goals, perseverance, diligence, right? Empathy, that is another, important things to work in a team. Empathy. Responsible, yes. Yes. So thank you so much. I think I'm gonna stop it here. Thank you for your participation. So as you know, all actually you have that concept that what sort of things is important to work in a team. Thank you for your participation. Next, I'll move on to the next slide. Ethics, yes. Order, yes. I got some two important two new words. Yes. So let's move on to this slide. So what are the important things, or how actually you can make your team effective? At first, is important to work in a team. Charter means your documentation. That means you have to, document the team's mission, the boundaries of the team, the background problem of the team's authority and duties or responsibilities, and resources. These sort of things you have to document somewhere. The important thing that most of the teams actually missed, that they do not document their, plans, their things, they do not document properly. And finally, they do not have document, they do not have some sort of proof, and then one person can blame other person easily. So what you'll have to do to make your team effective, you have to document. And in that document, in that team charter, you have to mention your team's purpose. You have to mention the boundaries of teams. That means how many people will be there. Then what would be your background problem? You have to mention these things. Your then authorities and responsibility. Who is responsible for what work? The roles, the roles of a leader. Who will recorder? Who will be the recorder? Who will be the timekeeper? Everything you have to mention in that document. So the first thing that is important in team effectiveness, that is team charter. Is that clear to you all?
Yes.
So yes,
Yes,
whenever
ma'am.
you go for the physical work in a team, that means your physical business, you have to mention some sort of document. Even in a group work like assignment, present, we also should mention a document. So the next one is team composition. Another very important thing for team effectiveness, that is team composition. Team composition means definitely you have to you know mm, uh, choose the number, what number of people you want to include in your team. As we know that in team, maximum 10 and minimum 6 or 5 people should be included. More than 10 member, then it will be a chaos. So in team composition is not only a number of people, but also what skills, abilities, or what experience, you know uh, 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 what skills, abilities, or experience of your team member should have. That is also including team composition. If you have diversified people in your group or team, then you can say that this team will perform good, because the more diversified team, the more team will do better or perform better. So team composition is the number of people and the skills and abilities or diversification. The more diverse the team members are, then definitely you will get a good result. Suppose you choose a team, you are 25 years old and you have chosen 5 members who are also 25 years old. That means there is no diversification. But if you choose like a person 25 years and a person 40, then definitely that 40 years old people is more experienced than you, or you are more skilled, or you are more techno than that 40 years old people. So that is basically diversification. That is important in team composition. And the next one is ground rules. There should have a ground rules and regulation. If you do not have a ground rules and regulation to operate your business, to conduct your business, then definitely there will be a chaos, and nobody will be disciplined. Everybody will uh, do their own things. So that is important. That is the ground rules. Every team should have a ground, a base rules and regulation in their business. So that is another important characteristics to make your team effective. Then clear objective. Another important thing is, we actually, when we compose a team, we start working, but what is our clear objective? What is the objective? We are not that much clear about. So this is important to make your objective clear. Each one of the team members should have their individual clear objective, so that they can perform according to that objective. Then maybe team will perform better. So clear objective is, you should have a mission. That is the common mission of your team. And each person of a team should have their clear objective. So that is also another fact of effective team development. Then accountability. Accountability is basically liability. Liability means, as we know, every person is accountable to perform. Every person in a team is accountable to perform. Because most of the time what happens, maybe we are working, 5 people are working in a team, 3 people are working and 2 people are not working at all, but they got the benefit, same benefit that 3 people are working. So that's why every person should be accountable to perform. That means I am liable to perform in my team. So that is important, accountability. And if every person will perform, then automatically you will get to know who is performing better, who is performing low, whose performance need to improve. Then you can actually give them training according to their weakness or according to their performance. So that's why accountability is important. Accountability is not important that why you are not working and you are getting benefit, not for that reason. Accountability is important that you can judge the performance of your team member. And if your team member is not doing that much good, that is okay. You can give them or him or her training to improve his or her skills. So that's why accountability is important in team development. And then well-defined decision procedure. Yes, another very important thing is well-defined decision procedure. In decision procedure, 3 things should be followed. One is effective decision, another one is acceptable decision, and third one is timely decision. So your team will be effective team if you follow this effective decision. If your decision is effective, if your decision is acceptable to all. Suppose you are making a decision, no one is accepting your decision, but you are making your decision by your own. So that should not be the way. Then your team will not going to perform better. So your decision, whenever you make your decision, that in that procedure that should be effective. Effective means right time, right decision, and successfully implementing that decision. And that decision should be acceptable to all people in the team, and that decision should be timely. You should make decision in a timely. So that is well defined decision procedure. Then the most important thing that you have also mentioned, that is trust. Yes, you should trust to your member, their performance. If you trust your member and their performance, then definitely, you know, you can they can actually improve. Suppose you, maybe your team member, he or she feel down, and you do not trust that yes, he or she will do better. But if you trust that person, that person's confidence may increase. So sometimes trust might increase your confidence level. So each member should trust each other about their performance, their personality, everything. So yes, and then open communication. In open communication is also important in team effectiveness. Open communication is not that excess of communication. Open communication is actively listen. You have to actively listen to your member without any interruption. You have to speak with clarity and directness. You have to speak with clarity and directness. Ask question. If they need, you have to even ask questions. So that is basically open communication. Here open communication means you have to listen actively to your members without any interruption. You have to speak with clarity, clearly speak, and with directness, not indirect communication. That should be a direct communication. And you have to ask frequently question what is their problem or something like that. That is open communication. And appropriate leadership, yes, appropriate leadership is another important part of team. As we know that in a team, leadership is gradually changed. Maybe initially one member is leader, and then when the team becomes matured, the leader might have change. And leadership definitely should be chosen by the team member, or sometimes some people have some sort of quality that automatically other person accept you as a leader. So whoever the leader, other person should have that acceptance. Yes, I accept him or her as a leader. So that is the appropriate leadership. And then balanced participation. As we know that balanced participation is actively participating, voicing their opinion, share their knowledge. Yes, did you did you ask someone anything?
No, ma'am. Accidentally, my microphone was on.
Right. Okay. Okay. It's okay. So balanced participation is all about, voicing up your opinion. Other person should, every person should have a active participation, actively perform. And then most of the time we used to see that in a team, maybe in a 5 people team, 2 are only asking question or participate in everything. But other three people are not that much open up their voice or something like that. But if you want to make an effective team, you should have a balanced participation. And then maybe the last one is cohesiveness, that someone already mentioned. Friendly relationship, harmonious relationship. So in a team there should have a comfortable working zone, comfortable with each other. Team members should have a comfortableness with each other while working. That is very important. Cohesiveness, harmonious relationship, friendly relationship with each other. Oh, yes, that's it, all about team. Now I'm going to talk about very, briefly. Um, you can see some pictures of some small business owner. We used to see the pictures of like Bill Gates. We used to see the pictures of like Steve Jobs, Tim Cook, but we didn't see them. So these are some small business owner, and they are running their business very well. And I have already given their names and their business organization. If you click there, you can go to their organization website directly. You can see them later. So they actually give some sort of tips, business tips. So I'm very fast, I'm going to share these business tips with you all. maybe I'm taking lots of time. Am I taking too much time or I'm okay?
Okay, you're doing fine. Fine.
Okay.
Ma'am, please
So
continue. Continue. We are
continue.
willing to
Okay.
hear.
Okay, thank you. All right, so very quickly, I'm just going to discuss about the social business management tips, or you can say the management business management tips, because these small business owner, they are not actually social business owner, but they are actually running their business very successfully. So yes, the first tip, systemize your business. Systemize your business means once you build on established system, you can duplicate your stuff and build a business that can scale based on a system that you have built. That means once you establish a system, then you do not make the system again and again, because your system already established. Now whatever the people came or leave, that doesn't matter. They actually they will fit to that system. So at first you have to systemize your business. You have to make a structure, you have to make a method structure. That is basically called systemize your business. So this is the first tip. The second tip is let go of full control. Let go of full control means you have to let go go of control over things you are not good at. Sometimes some business owner, they have a tendency that I will do everything, but maybe that person do not have that kind of knowledge. So if you do not have knowledge, okay, fine, leave it. Give some other responsibility to do it. So that is another tips. Do not let go of control over things you are not good at. So do your best at in which you are actually good, and let others do in which they are good. Hire other people in which they are good. So that is another tips in business. Most of the time people did this kind of mistakes. And then declutter your business. Declutter your business is let go of anything that isn't help your business. uh, like sometimes some sort of things we used to do in business that is that much not help in your business, or that is do not add value to your business. So you have to cut those things so that you can make your business happier, healthier and productive. Suppose in our country, I used to go a restaurant, and that the restaurant square feet is like a very small restaurant. Like I'm not good at that square feet calculation. It may be okay. I cannot. Okay, not that much. So the square feet is not that much big, but that is a restaurant, and they put they have some sort of setting that in a corner of that restaurant there will be a person who will play music, and in other parts of the restaurant people will go and have their food. But since the restaurant size is so small, and they set drums, guitar, two and three people for singing, and the restaurant size is small and their sound system is big, and lots of noise are making. People cannot concentrate on their food because of doom 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 sound. And people sometimes, like when I went there, I feel like irritated and I went back. I said no, I'm not gonna have food there, because they're actually focused on more music rather food. This is a restaurant, they should focus on food, not music, right? That is a extra part. It can add value. Since your square feet is not that much, you can just keep one person who will just sit in a corner with just a guitar and just play uh, what should I say, a very soft music. Then that is okay. But you have put lots of drum, lots of sound system, but your your house is not that much big. So that is important. Declutter your business means you have to cut some sort of things which is not add value to your business. Promote transparency. Yes, another very important thing, promote transparency. You have to establish a culture of transparency to your customer, to your employee, to your investors. So that is important. So you have to be transparent to your customer, you have to be transparent to your employee, you have to be transparent to your investors. And then stick to a budget. Yes, you have to utilize your budget properly. Sometimes we are not stick to our budget that we have initially begin. We say that okay, we can increase our budget little more. So that is actually should not be the way. According to that business, small business owner, you should stick to a budget that you have prepared initially, and then focus on making big impact. Since you are since I'm going to you are going to in future do a small social business, so definitely that is important to make a big impact in your society. And always re-evaluate. Another very important thing, that you have to re-evaluate your business progress uh, at least every 3 months, so that you can detect your mistakes, and according to that mistakes you can take some actions. So that is another important thing. Then stay organized, make spreadsheet, file your paper, use online management system. So that is how you can stay organized. Every business should have organized properly, so that it can work properly. As I said earlier, in team charter, everything should be documented. So that is kind of things here mentioned, everything should be documented. And measure everything means you have to measure your income, you have to measure your expense, your marketing, on return on investment, staff efficiencies, all of these things, your clients, your customers, all of these things you have to measure. You have to evaluate all of these things continuously. And then the last one, maybe they said, learn how to delegate. This is, I think, one of the important or best tips they have ever I have ever found. Learn how to delegate. Most of the time people have a tendency that I am doing these things, but after you, what will happen to your business? Did you think about it? So that is basically how to delegate. So after you, someone will going to handle your business. So you have to have that tendency, that intention to delegate your task to others. So that is one of the best part of a leadership. If you are a leader, then definitely you will do these things in your business. After you, who will work? Who will actually empower? Whom you are going to empower? Who will continue your business? So that's why you want to delegate. So that's all about the 10 effective, I think, some what should I say, tips of business management. So yes, that's it about from me. So your limitation, it's only your imagination. You all are wonderful, you're doing your best. You do not have any kinds of limitation. So that's it. Thank you so much for your patience. And if you have any questions, since we are running out of time, I'm taking lots of time, so you can go to your BLC, and you can write your question, your discussion forum. I'll definitely answer you. Thank you. Are you there?
Thank you so much,
Thank you
ma'am.
very much,
Thank
ma'am,
you.
for your
Thank you, ma'am.
great
Thank you, ma'am.
presentation.
Welcome, Achami. You too.
Presenting, ma'am.
Stop sharing. All right.
Thank you very much, ma'am. So let me share my points. So I hope. Are you ready to have financial aspects of financial social business? So are you all ready to? May I start my part?
Yes, sir. You can start.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, everyone, for your patience. So let me start. So I'm going to start financial aspects of social business. I hope the slide is visible. Uh, so what is finance actually? So if I talk about, finance, it is all about uh, management of money, right? So if it is social business or it is conventional business or whatever the types of business is, and we all have to manage money. So that is very important aspects of finance, a business. Okay, so if I see the what are the major areas of finance, if we see from the bird's eye view, the three major aspects of finance that any business organization need to manage, that is financing. So in financing, basically we look at from where we can going to collect money and how we can set our capital structure and excuse me, and how we deal with financial distress. If my business fall into any sort of financial distress, how you're going to deal with that. That is what you're looking for from the financing aspects. This so simply, I know there are a lot of people from the non-business background. So for them, financing is basically rising fund. It is basically deal with rising fund. That means from where we are going to collect money and all. And then next one is investment. That is another crucial point, because as we have money, definitely we are going to invest this money. So we need to know the investment facts and figure. So basically investment is basically two types, two perspectives. One is for the short term and another one is for the long term. So so that is what we are going to look at. And the payout, that is dividend. That means how a business pay to their shareholder and all these things. But the irony of the social business is you don't need to bother about this. Because in social business, we know this is non-dividend business. So the profit will always be retained to the business for the further investment. So that is the whole idea of, financial aspects of social business. We are going to cover these three major facts as, as short as possible, because we are running out of time since we have another session at 8. So if we go to the next, these are the financial aspects. In financial aspects, so I want to start with, what are the source available to you? If you want to start your business, so what are the available source for you? So since I missed some, this is our expectation from your social business. Since you are making a social business plan, then these major areas that we are looking for from you, that should be available in your so financial aspects of financial plan of your social business. That is, you have to mention your source of fund. That means from where you're going to collect money, and you have to keep the cost of source. That means if you raise money from you, that means as a partner, since it's a group work, definitely you're making business as a partnership business. So how much money you are going to collect from the partner and how much money you're going to take loan or venture capital and other angel investor or crowdfunding. There are a lot of options. So you have to put the cost of sources, and definitely you have to give the capital structure. That means put it the combination of your debt and equity. That means if your business is total, say for example $1 million, then how much portion of this $1 million is going to come from owner side, and how much portion of this $1 million come from outside side. That means outside, that means from the bank or from angel investor as state or something like this. And you have to also put your 3 years financial statements, and of course you have to put the break-even point. So I'm going to focus on this 5 area mostly. There are other things remain with your slides and everything, so you can look at and get the slide details, and of course with the Excel sheet in BLC courses already given in this in this chapter or lesson. So what are the sources available? We know for any sort of business, F&F is the major options to raise money. So there are a lot of options available for social business, especially for the social business, because Grameen Trust, Grameen Foundation, Grameen Bank, social social business fund, and there are a lot of options available. Trust fund also available. Islamic Model Fund is also available. There are some other traditional options also available, like angel invest, seed funding. We know about the angel investor. We know about the crowdfunding. So there are a lot of these innovations also there, besides a special fund available for the social business. So if you're really serious, you want to start your business, these organizations extend their hand to to give you the money. So if you have the solid business idea, they're ready to give you money. And as we know, there are always two sources of raising money. So that is, first one is the debt and equity. I already said, whatever the money we are going to collect, that should be come from debt source and of course from the equity sources. So there are only two sources available. So whatever the sources available to us, that will belongs to this source mainly. So if you look at for the small businesses like a partnership or sole proprietorship businesses, this sort of business mostly depends on the owner's investment, and from this owner's investment basically comes from the savings, comes from parents, comes from relatives. So that is called FNF. We know all about this. And for slightly large business, venture capital is always there for you to give money. So these are the options as equity. You can get this equity fund from these sources. And for the debt source available for the small business, mostly bank loan. But yes, initially you're not going to get the bank loan because bank will always look for documents and your sustainability of business and everything. After getting all sort of confidence about your business, they will only extend the extend fund to you. So mostly for the small business, we can say the owner's fund is available. But for the social business, you can look at there are a lot of UNOS foundations there worldwide. You can collect money from them. So this is all about from choosing financing. So now another the most important fact, that is there any optimal mix of debt and equity? So say I say, to example, you need $1 million to start your business. So what is the best mix of your fund? Is it 50-50%? That means 50% from debt source, 50% from equity source. Is it the best option, or there are some other options? So as we know, there is no optimal capital structure, because this capital structure or mix of debt and equity, that depends on a lot of factors. So after little bit after two slides later, I'm going to show from the Excel. You can easily choose your debt equity, best debt equity mix based on your industry, based on your nature of business, based on your operating income, based on your sales growth, based on your tax. There are a lot of factors that will affect your optimal debt and equity. I know there are a lot of business people is here, so already about this fact. So when you design your capital structure or mix of debt and equity, you have to look at these issues, to look at what are the factors that influence, and is that factor negatively influencing or positively influencing. If that is positively influencing, then we always have to focus on that. If the debt has impact on positively impacting on your earnings, then we should focus on debt. And there are a lot of factors will always influence your business. If I go to the next, now we have to measure the cost of capital. So how to calculate the cost of capital? There are a lot of ways to calculate the cost of capital. So if we decide there are only two sources available, that is, one is debt source, another one is equity sources. So I just put a little calculation here. So if we see this WACC, that is weighted average cost of capital, that will always comes from the cost of equity plus debt weight of equity, cost of debt. So we found the cost of weighted average cost of capital by calculating the cost of equity into portion of equity in total capital, at the same time cost of debt, and multiply by portion of debt. So if I go to the go to straightforward to the Excel sheet. So if we see this hypothetical calculation is given based on some data. So here I took an example of one company. This company has having total 62 million total capital. 62 they have 62 million total capital. From this 62 million capital, the 50 million comes from the equity sources and 12 million comes from the debt sources. So this is the basic idea of their capital structure. So if we calculate the cost of equity, we are using the CAPM model. This is the one of the renowned model that finance people always use to calculate. There are some other model also available to calculate. We know dividend model. We know there are bond plus premium model is also available to calculate the cost of equity. I'm using here to calculate simply the CAPM model. So calculating the CAPM, we know we have to use the risk-free rate, market return, and beta. After calculating all this and putting the formula here, we can get the cost of equity. Now, question is, you may think about I want to start a business, but I don't in my business This business is not going to be publicly traded, and this sort of business is not publicly available. So how I can calculate this? For these cases, for the private companies, we always use the proxy. We know the proxy, right? So we have to use the proxy firm, proxy company, to find their cost of equity, and we can, you can take their cost of equity as for my company as well, because my company seems like the same, my company has the similar operation like that particular company. So I'm going to take that company's cost of equity as for my company. So this is applicable for the private company, as we know already. And for cost of debt, here I just put the interest rate and default spread. And after calculating all these things, you can find the cost of debt. So cost of debt is 4.88. So after calculating all these things, cost of equity is here, cost of debt is here, and we found the weight, because as we said, we need weight of debt and equity. So from this data, I calculated the weight of debt and weight of equity. So weight of debt is 80 point something. So how I find this? It is total equity divided by total value of the company. So 50 divided by 62, then we got the weight of debt, weight of equity, then weight of debt. And after putting this in formula, we found this cost of capital is 11.43%. So cost of capital is 11.43%. Now question is cost of capital is important or crucial for the company? Of course, yeah, the answer is a big yes. Why it is yes? Because based on the cost of capital, we are going to take our investment decision. That means, of course, cost of capital is very, very crucial, because for taking investment decision to maximizing the company's value, we always look at the cost of capital. That is very important. And of course, cost of capital will be influenced by your choice of debt and equity. So after one slide, I'm going to share once again from the capital structure point of view. So next process. So that's the slide I already showed from Excel sheet. And recapping, I think you can recap this. All the ways to calculate cost of equity and cost of debt is given here. So if you go to the capital structure, as I said before, capital structure is basically a combination of debt and equity. So we have to take best possible mix of debt and equity to invest our business. So if we look at, say, for example, take the example of 1 million. So for example, 1 million, so you have to decide how much portion of this 1 million we're going to collect from debt source, that means from outside the source, and how much portion of your capital you're going to take from the equity source. Say for example, as a owner, as a partner, you invested 40, say for example 40%, and 60% you're going to collect from the debt source. So this will be your mix of. So now I'm going to share you how you can set your capital structure, which capital structure is best for you. So if I show this capital slide, so you can see we got this cost of capital from the earlier slide, earlier sheet. We already showed this how to calculate the cost of equity and cost of debt. So I just bring this cost of debt and cost of equity here. So here the cost of debt and cost of equity is given. Now I just decided the weight of equity. WE means weight of equity, WD means weight of debt. So if I take 100% equity, then definitely debt will be 0. That means if I as I said before, I need $1 million to start my business. If I take 100% from the equity sources, that means from the owner side, then we don't need to take any money from the debt source. That will be then at that time cost of equity. Sorry, my cost of capital will be 30%. Since I don't have any debt, so weight of debt is 0. If we multiply 0 into 4.88%, it will be 0. Then 100% with the 13%, it will be 13%. So subsequently, we see there are the different mix of debt and equity. If I take the debt 60%, I have to take the debt of 40%. If I take equity 30%, then I have to take 70% debt. So at this situation, you can see in different combination, you can see there are different types of cost of capital. So from this graph, you can see the cost of capital, your cost of capital is getting down when you are increasing debt, which is very good. Now question is, if I take 100% debt, then what will happen? So if you see if I take this 100% debt, then my cost of capital will be only 4.88%, which is very fantastic cost of capital. But at the same time, you have to look at this also. If I take 100% debt to finance my total capital of a company, then it will excessively increase my financial risk. If my financial risk increase, that can put my business into the financial distress. And there is this possibility of bankruptcy. So if there is a chance of taking loan 100%, we should not go for 100% loan, because we know if we take the loan, that increase our financial risk. So we have to always make a balance. So you see, the capital structure itself has the impact on cost of capital. That means, as I said before, do we need to measure the, do you need to consider the cost of capital? Yes, answer is a big yes. And this cost of capital will be influenced by my choice of capital structure, my choice of debt and equity. At the same time, we have to fix our capital structure. That means how many portion of debt and equity I'm going to take. That you have to set considering the other factors as well. That means that is your tax level, that is your sales growth level, that is your nature of business, that will also influence by the industry you belongs to. So there are a lot of factors also influence. So we see the capital structure has clear influence on the capital cost of capital, and cost of capital has clear influence in our investment decision. That means everything, every single investment, every single financial decision has an impact and subsequent impact on other issues. So when you take the decision, when you take the capital structure decision from where you're going to raise money, you have to subsequently think about your cost of capital as well, because the cost of capital always influence you to take your capital budgeting. That means whether I'm going to invest or not, that decision always will be lead by cost of capital. So cost of capital always lead you to take, to whether you're going to take investment decision or not. That means when you calculate your NPV and all this, you always have to use the cost of capital. Based on cost of capital, you have to take the investment decision. So you have to be very careful about this issue. So if I go to the next part of my presentation, so here's a framework is given for taking the optimal capital structures. I'm leaving this with you. You can look at and get the idea. If you read this, and you can get easily the idea of how to take this. Now my part is the financial distress. So what happened in why a companies fall into the financial distress? We know if I take the excessive loan, that will lead my business to the financial distress. So this financial distress basically comes from two sides. One side is that is called a stock based, that is kind of balance sheet based. Another one is basically in cash flow based. That means in balance sheet based, my company face financial distress if the debt of that means liability of my company is increasing from my total asset. If we see this, here is the optimal solvent form. This is the insolvent form. We see this is the this is the asset level, by that my debt level is getting down to the main asset level. That means if you have $100 of asset, you have a liability of $120. That means my company is kind of in bankruptcy, in financial distress. Financial distress doesn't mean always the bankruptcy. Your company may fall financial distress for some reason, but after some time, your company may recover from that financial distress condition. So it's okay. It's okay to fall into the financial distress, but it is better not to fall into the financial distress. But if your company somehow fall into the financial distress, don't lose your hope, because there is always a chance to come back. And there are a lot of data also there, not because I'm not going to these. And I also have developed a model to predict your bankruptcy. I and my friend from the Delhi University, we developed a model how we can predict a bankruptcy of a company. So I can also share that model to you. You can also test of any company to get this idea. Okay. Now next part is investment issues. So in investment, we have to think about our short-term investment. That means we have to manage our cash. How much cash we have to have in my business, because we know there is a always negative relation between liquidity and profitability. That means if my company make a lot of money available for the company, we are losing profitability. That means cash management is also another important fact. That is what cover in the capital structure. And capital budgeting is of course the major issues you have to always look at. Because of we know there are a lot of capital budgeting techniques and tools available, like NPV, IRR, MIRR, and all these techniques available. Payback period, discounted payback period. There are 7 techniques available for us. So we have to, what we have to do, we have to calculate the cash flows from any project. If you start your business, you have to always find out the cash flow of your business. Then you are going to use these 7 techniques, tools to find the whether my business is profitable or acceptable or not. that is, for that we have to take this seven capital budgeting tools, and from available from all these tools, we always know the NPV is always best techniques. And though I don't have any type, I'm not going to give the justification why NPV is best, but trust me, NPV is the always best. You can look at in internet. I will also share some, if you want, I can share some some documents why NPV is the best. And besides, the business organization also calculate IRR, payback period. Though payback period, there are a lot of limitations in payback period options, but still we can use this, because I'm just discussing these things because I'm not going to cover the capital budgeting in details. That's why I just give the brief idea why and how to you can calculate. So I'm going to just show next three things, that is how to calculate the cash flow, break even, and income statement. So in any sort of investment decision, we always know we have to take the investment decision of the projects that has a greater return than our hurdle rate, that means my cost of capital. If cost of capital is lower than my return on investment, then we'll always take the investment decision. That is a simple principle or first principle of any investment decision. So this is the cash flow, and then the break-even point, and then the income statement. So I'm going to show it very quickly because we have 13 minutes time to complete all these things. Okay, so this is the cash flow calculation. So I just put everything details you can look at, and you can see, you can understand. If you have any queries, questions, you can always write me to. I am always welcome your question, and I will be happy to answer you. So though I just write all details here, how to calculate the revenue, simply selling price and unit. But for the service company, how you can get this revenue, you have to use the client into multiply the how much money you are going to get from per client. Then we can use for this service company, but I just wrote it from the manufacturing company's perspective. And subsequently, we have to calculate the cost of goods sold and gross profit, then operating expenses, then net operating income. We have to calculate the till net operating income. After getting the net operating income, then we have to find the operating cash flows by net operating income minus tax into plus depreciation. So if we put the formula here, you'll get this operating cash flow. So this is the brief idea for 1 year. If you want to forecast 5 years of your business, that means the idea you are working with, you want to forecast 5 years for your business, then you can forecast accordingly for the first year, second year, third year, and fifth year. Okay, the next part is income statement. Just let me briefly show this income statement. So I just prepared this. Simran, my share is okay. Okay, fine. Okay, so I just put the hypothetical data of Pedicare. Pedicare is a social business venture of Daffodil University. So just put the information, like this is the first year 2020. So how I calculated this? I just put the the units and with the price, and then we got the sales and cost of goods sold. I just put the 55% of sales will be the cost of goods sold. Though it is hypothetical, when you prepare your one, then you have to find out what is the cost of goods sold. So what is cost of goods sold? Cost of goods sold is basically cost associated with the product or services that you are offering. So with the cost of goods or services that is you are offering, that is the direct cost of that product or services that you have to put in the cost of capital. Say for example, I'm producing the t-shirt, so I have to use the cotton, I have to use the labor, and I have to use the factory overhead. The cost of all these three things I have to put in the cost of goods sold. Okay, and then after this, then we can get the gross profit. And in operating, then we have to deduct our operating expense. Operating expense is the expense that is not directly associated with your core goods and services you offer. Once again, I'm telling the operating expense of those expenses that is not directly associated with the goods and services that you are offering, like the salesman's expenses that is not directly associated with the producer product, right? So here some examples of operating expense also is given. So you can look at, there are a lot of other operating expense will be available because it's very business to business. It will completely vary business to business. In one business, operating expense will be like this, and another business operating expense will be like another type of, okay. And after this, we get the earning before interest and tax. Then we have to deduct interest expense. So simply interest expense is I just put a loan here, loan of 5 lakhs taka, and then I just keep the 10% of this 5 lakhs taka is 55%. So this is how we can calculate the interest expense. So if you take a loan from more than 5, 6, or 7 banks, then you have to take a weighted average of that interest rate. And also you can also separately calculate the cost interest expense, then add all this, then put in income statement. That is also possible. And after that, you can get the operating earning before tax, and then we have to deduct the tax. I just put here 15% tax. You can write according to based on your country. You can write this 10%. It can be 20%. It can be 30%. Even the tax rate will always vary country to country, based on sector to sector, based on company to company. So after that, you get the first year income. That is the fair. Okay, so you got this first year income, and for second year, third year, you have to forecast. For that projection, I just give the information. We see there our sales will grow at 15%. I just put the hypothetical data. You have to give your realistic data based on your logic. Why you're giving this? Why you think your sales will grow at 15% interest rate? Then 15%. Then that is you have to put. So I just put the 15. My sales will be increased by 15%, and accordingly I calculated for 21, 22. And cost of sales is, I consider the 55% of cost of goods sold is 55% of my sales. And operating expense is 18% of sales. How I can take it? I just take it from the first year. In first year, the operating expenses is, I got it from here. So it is 3,17,000. So it is kind of approximately 18%. So I just put 18% for all other years. And subsequently, I got interest expense. I just increased the interest expense for first year, because as my company is spreading, maybe I'm going to take more loan in coming years. That means my interest will be also, my interest expense will also increase. That's why I increase this, and the tax rate will remain same. Then after calculating this, I'm going to get the net income. So this is the whole idea of calculating the income statements. Yes, I know I'm just running out of time. That's why I'm just trying to cover all these things. Though I just put all the data with the details calculations. Leave it in BLC, so you can look at. If you have any confusion, you can always knock me there. So I'll be happy to answer you. The last part, let me give 2-3 minutes time to finish this, the break-even point. In break-even point, just once again, I'm just telling this from the manufacturing perspective, but you can see from the service company as well. For the service company, once again, you can always use the number of client base instead of units. Say, for example, I'm selling the t-shirt, so I use the t-shirt as a unit. If you are providing the service like medical services, then you can put the per client as unit. So that is the basic difference of social business, manufacturing and non-manufacturing. So for manufacturing company, for break-even quantity, we have to find out our fixed cost. And if we divide the fixed cost from the sell price per unit minus variable cost, that is the contribution margin. If we divide our fixed cost by the contribution margin, we will always find the break-even point. So here the simple example is given. The total fixed cost is $1 lakh, and our contribution margin is $10. So after that, we found this 10,000 unit. That means if I sell 10,000 unit of this product, then my company will be kind of in break even. After that point, if I sell 10,001 unit, after this point, my profit will be increasing. So this is the whole idea. And here some also other calculations also given. All the things are written in the black and white. I hope you will understand every possible thing. If you still have any confusion, you can write me. So this I want to finish here. Thank you. And for you, I just give all the information here. You can see the details of slides. Everything is here. And sustainability of social business, that is, you have to calculate the financial aspects and all this, possible calculation, possible analysis, every possible thing I provided. So if you want to go and if you want to go details, you can always knock me. And also you can also able to know all these things. All the calculations also given in this Excel sheet. So with this, I want to finish here. Thank you so much, everyone. If you have any question, confusion, please, ask me here, or you can write me BLC. So I'm just moving to Simran.
Okay, if you have any question, you can ask us. We will be taking one more question, just one question. So if you have any question regarding this topic, you can ask us.
Hello, sir. I wanted to ask a question. First, I want to say thank you for your informative presentation. My question is about that when we are talking about traditional business. By the finance theory, we know that in an efficient market, the effective cost of capital is independent of the capital structure.
Right.
But when we implement a bound that social business will be non-dividend, so it means that the cost of capital is not constant due to the capital structure. How can we talk about this issue?
Okay, thank you so much for raising this important point. As you know, this is not non-dividend, but still you have an opportunity to raise money by selling the stock. So those who are going to invest in your company, they will know this company is, especially social business. They are contributing for the society. So I'm investing in this company to contribute for the society by this company. So I know I'm not going to get this any sort of dividend, but still I'm investing because I know there is an opportunity to getting the capital gain. I hope you know the capital gain is, right? What is capital gain? So there is options of getting the capital gain. And for the calculating the cost of capital, we can use the other model. We are not going to calculate the cost of capital based on dividend and all. We are going to use CAPM model to find the cost of capital. So yes, cost of capital may not be change time to time, but yes, there is a chance of changing time to time.
But CAPM is usable just in efficient market, and this market cannot be taught as efficient market.
No. Why? You said there is no market in this in the world is the efficient market. We know there is an inefficient market hypothesis. There are the divide, pharma and French, they divide this market into three forms. That is weak form, semi-strong form, and the strong form. So in this world, you not find any efficient market. So every market has some kind of, we can say the semi-strong form of market. But in Bangladesh or developing countries market is basically weak form of market. So in this weak form of market, yes, CAPM may not be used, but as I said, we can use it as a proxy. So still, you as a finance manager, you have always the judgment what percentage of cost of equity you are going to take. So the justification or discretion is always remain to you. So you can definitely consider change depends on market. As I said, you can take a proxy even. So you don't say, for example, you are a company. This sort of company is not available, exist in the in Bangladesh or any other country. So and on that time you have to take the proxy of similar type of business. Understand? I hope I'm clear to you.
Thank you for your response.
Thank you very much. Pleasure.
Thank you.
So as we are running out of time, we won't be able to take any more questions. So if you have any question, you can ask your question in BLC, and also you can email us and forward it to your buddy, and you will get your answer as soon as possible. So thank you so much, sir and ma'am. It was a wonderful presentation where you both covered the whole aspect of financial and management part in social business. So I hope our student learned a lot from this. So thank you so much.